Hi, y'all. Welcome to today's episode of The Gray Area. As you can see, it's a beautiful rainy day today, so staying in the car for this one. Today I wanted to I wanted to talk about, this is my first one that's not a response video. Um, there would be too many people for me to respond to, but this is a common topic that I've heard men talk about, women talk about across the platforms, and it is women who are too in their masculine, or women that are considered too masculine, usually due to being career focused or independent women, that they take care of themselves and they don't need a man, and or they pursue education and all those kind of it's kind of an all-encompassing, just being too self-sufficient basically is considered masculine, apparently. Funny enough. I of course take issue with that as an independent woman. I've never said that I don't need anyone just because I'm independent. I feel like, what was that song by Neo? Miss Independent. She got her own thing. That's why I love her. So, the first thing I want to cover is the saying that, oh, men don't like that. That's, I call complete BS. A man that is secure in himself will be perfectly fine with a woman that is able to provide for herself and not fully reliant on him. He saves so much freaking. I feel like one of the things that a lot of men complain about is women wanting them to pay for women wanting them to pay for everything. Some men, obviously, and this channel being called The Gray Area, I'm already coming from an understanding that it's not black and white. So there's no one size fits all. It's not all men want to be providers, and I mean, I'm sure most men do want to be providers, at least in some aspects, but not want to necessarily fully take care of and pay for everything all the time. I feel like in the modern times, a lot of men appreciate a woman that can also do things for him and spoil him in some ways, besides just sexually. Um, but even then, it's never, I'm going to say, really, the funniest thing to me is when I'm talking to guys, which I don't do a ton, but so, the caveat that I predominantly talk to women, but honestly, either way, they don't care if I mean, it's known that I have my own apartment and my own car and like I live on my own, but it's never been come up in conversation that I technically don't need anyone. Like, it's a matter of, do we like each other or not? It's like the chemistry. Men, I would say, and women, they care more about how you make them feel. So I feel like the independent thing with women is like, if you're independent to the point where you make the man feel like trash or feel like he has nothing to offer you, then yeah, you're gonna have a problem. But if you still make the man feel loved and you're there for him, like you have that kind of, there's still like a softness of a like, oh, like, I really appreciate you being in my life. Like, you have things to offer me besides like that are not monetary or like transactional type things. Like, I get things that I get the things that I need from you, or that are nice to have, that I can't do just by being an independent woman. Like, we're all human beings. We're all pretty social. Like, unless you're a hermit and you want to go, to a monastery or live in a cave somewhere. We all like being around people, particularly people that love us and that we can show love in return. So I feel like as long as you get that part of the equation right, it doesn't matter how independent you are. It doesn't make you masculine. I feel like the other place the masculinity comes in is if it's in the form of being combative and aggressive. I feel like that's the kind of masculinity that it doesn't look good on a man or a woman, to be honest. Like, we give men a pass for showing that kind of like aggression as a form of masculinity, but honestly, that's why we have such high rates of freaking domestic violence. Um, because they're only, I don't want to say they're only allowed to express their negative or like their more aggressive emotions, but they're kind of socialized that way, unfortunately. Um, but it doesn't look attractive in either sex. So if you're a woman that is very like, I cannot rely on anyone but myself, and you're kind of, there's kind of like a thin line between I don't trust anyone, I can't rely on anyone because you've been hurt, and that's a trauma response, which is fine, but that's something that I would recommend for anybody dealing with that to like genuinely seek healing, and see, like, get to the bottom of, like, get in some therapy, get in some counseling, get to the bottom of why you feel like you can't trust anyone. Granted, I mean, people don't make it easy. Um, I have a hard time trusting people myself, especially men. I will be the first to admit I have a hard time trusting men, but I will also be cognizant of that when I'm dealing with them, that I am a little bit biased and I am a little bit predisposed due to my some things in my past to look at them sideways. I mean, like, it's been earned, but it hasn't been earned by all men. It's only been earned by the men that I've had in my life, unfortunately, so far. So every new man I have to take in with the knowledge that I have this background history of mistrust, and I have to like see him with a fresh lens. And then the same goes for me. Like, if I see a man that's automatically, this doesn't happen for me very much because I'm obviously, for most people, I'm very obviously like not really a typical woman. Um, but yeah, same for if I'm dealing with a man that's like putting assumptions on me based on his past history with women, or he thinks I'm going to be such and such and blah blah blah, and like any kind of preconceived notions. Um, I don't. That's not something that I would deal with or that I would accept. But yeah, I'm a very particular type. So for for other women that are a little bit more, so I'm speaking as a mask. So I'm not. I don't really identify as a mask woman, but I identify as very center I have masculine and feminine traits, and so that's the other reason why I wanted to make this video, is because men have never had any issues like still wanting to talk to me, wanting to be in relationships with me, wanting to, that's why I say it's like it's kind of BS, because as long as you're not masculine and like the negative masculine traits, they don't freaking care like at all. Like, sure, some guys would prefer me wear dresses sometimes. I'm never gonna do that. Maybe for a wedding, I don't know. Some guys, yeah, they would like to see me maybe in more girly clothes. I feel like a lot of my masculinity is in my style and my clothing. Um, but other than that, they see I'm a girl, they see I'm a woman, they see that I'm still very feminine and I'm cool, I have personality. Like, I've got all the things that I still have all the things that they're looking for, but I just come in like a different package. So men, honestly, in my experience, they do not care at all. I don't want to say at all, but they do not care as much as people think they care. So you can be a whole tomboy, playing sports, don't wear makeup. I don't wear makeup ever. Um, like, gosh, I probably have, it's been like years. And if I do wear it, it's literally somebody's wedding, and I haven't been in a wedding in like 8 years. So it was probably the last time I wore makeup. So yeah, doing all these things. Women say, "Oh, you have to get all like dolled up for men." No, you don't. You freaking do not. I mean, I guess if you're we can get to the looks department. Like, yeah, maybe if you don't have a natural, if you don't feel good about your natural face, then the makeup is going to boost your confidence. And so that's helpful. I feel like confidence looks good on everyone, and if you need a little help getting there, then that's great. Then go for it. Like, I'm not knocking women who wear makeup or who like do a lot of like accentuation with the help of other things of themselves. But it's really easy to find the guys that are not into that. Like, sure, like they like it initially because it looks like it's a very striking to start with, but then eventually they're gonna see, like, if y'all are hitting it off and y'all are seeing each other regularly, eventually they're gonna see you without the makeup. And some guys will intentionally do dates like at a pool or a beach or something so they can see what you look like without your makeup. So I wouldn't rely too heavily on that. I know when I meet a girl that's like constantly wearing makeup and she's scared for me to see her outside of her makeup, that's a big ass red flag for me, because that means she's insecure in how she looks without makeup. Like if she's like, this is if she's scared for me to see her without her makeup. And I'm like, girl, are you scared of your face? Like, please. Like, you're beautiful. You look beautiful with the makeup. I'm sure you look fine without it. I mean, it honestly, I feel like if you're wearing it to the point that you look that much different with it without, you're kind of baby catfishing. Man, how do we get off the topic of masculinity? Well, obviously that means that's time to make that subject into a different video. All right, so final statement about women being masculine. It's your personality overall. If you're not mean, aggressive, bitter, rude, etc., you're fine. Be as masculine as you want to be. Like, we all have a masculine and feminine side. Just express yourself fully. Express the full range of who you are, and be confident and love yourself. You don't have to worry about how masculine you are. All right. Peace out, y'all.